Try and get the better of the United States of America. The sun is starting to set behind the stadium here, which means the temperatures are dropping for the first time today. Austria versus the United States of America. And Horst with the first service into the net. First point on the board for the USA. Now, they've met once this season, and the head-to-head result had Doppler Horst getting the better of Brunner Patterson in a two-set winner in Stade on the major series. That was just back in July. Where are we at now? Just under 4 weeks ago, Dane. So it's fair to say that Doppler and Horst are the favourites, and they've got the crowd behind them, of course.
Yeah, they definitely the favorite, the number 12 seed against the 17th seeded Americans. And as you mentioned, Nick, they have that one victory edge. That victory can give you a lot of confidence, but also on the losing end of a matchup like that, you can want to avenge that loss and really step up.
First point on the board for the Austrians, taking their time to get into the rhythm and flow of play here. But that's a mighty hit from Horst.
Casey Patterson still on the move when that ball is contacted. Very difficult to dig a ball like that.
Clemens Doppler with the service for Austria. Doppler serving Brunner. Set from Patterson. Brunner, cross court. Doppler is no! Didn't quite go the right way to the American court. 4-1. Tidy advantage in the early exchanges for the USA.
A lot of energy expended right there by Clemens Doppler, really laying it out, giving that maximum effort.
Theo Brunner serving Doppler. Horst with the set. Doppler now on the attack. Over the top of the block, but it's a good turn from the American. And good play from Theo Brunner. Turn and burn, is that what the technical way it is when the blocker comes off his block, spins around and gets it again?
That's exactly it. When you land, you got to somewhat kind of burn it out to go after. It's a very difficult play. Takes a lot of athleticism as well as agility. Well, Casey Patterson completely read that shot. And he converts.
Whoa, that is nice from Patterson. He must have gone the full length of the center court to pick that one up. He enjoyed it himself, you can see.
And after that play, Casey Patterson, I think, found the one American in the crowd and asked for a little bit more noise. I've seen thousands of A1 Austrian flags, but just one American flag where he was pointing.
Nice play by Doppler, keeping his calm, staying cool and steady, Austria, even though they're 4 behind the USA.
And you know, this crowd loves volleyball, very educated. They love when it comes to town every single year in Austria. Klagenfurt for 19 years. They really celebrate it. And the cool thing is, they're not that hostile. They love to see great volleyball, and they're getting a beautiful rally right here.
Patterson puts it away. 5 clear now, the Americans need to keep this momentum going, and they could wrap up this first set quicker than most of us expected.
Yeah, Nick, I've played many times in Austria, and the crowd always so appreciative of good volleyball, not hostile. When I go down to Brazil, I'll tell you though, they might run you out of town because of that rivalry, USA-Brazil. So despite the fact that there's 10,000 fans going wild, it's still a safe environment.
Doppler to serve.
We got a foot fault violation. Clemens Doppler, foot must have touched the line before takeoff on that back service line. Haven't seen that call. I don't think I've seen it all tournament long. But here it is. Take a look at the footwork. Clemens Doppler just touching the line. There's a little turn and burn as well, Nick, and the put away. Not much of a burn, though. You see how he stayed on his feet?
Yep.
Usually, the blocker has to go to the ground and lay it out. That time, Theo Brunner really controlling the block.
I have to say, it's an impressive start for this match for Theo Brunner, 32-year-old from California. residing in Torrance, California. Over on one from Doppler works. Beautiful rally. All four players putting in some spectacular shots and moves, but Doppler reads it best of all right at the end.
Rarely see an over on one on the men's side. Doppler goes deep, and he didn't have a lot of room for error. That just hitting the outside of the line. Beautiful shot.
Important point on the board for Austria. Trying to get back at this 5-point lead that the USA still controlling. It's a great save from Alex Horst. Brunner tries again. And second time lucky for Theo Brunner. 6 clear now, the USA.
United States playing on a very high level. Remember, Casey Patterson used to play with Jake Gibb. They actually went to the 2016 Olympics. Didn't fare too well, finishing in 19th place, but now with his new partner, looking to get back to that championship form that he and Jake had achieved so many times.
Doppler's getting into the rhythm here. You can see him trying to psych himself up for more.
What a crushing right there, Clemens Doppler. And you see that passion.
Doppler with service. Oh, just puts that one a little too deep. Good play again from Doppler.
Wow, does this place get loud? You know, I think what's most impressive about the crowd, they know all the sound baits, they know all the moves, and a lot of times they're doing everything in unison. It's powerful.
Powerful is the word for the play by Theo Brunner. Tools that ball off the block of Clemens Doppler for Austria. 6 clear, the USA. Oh, gets one in the face, Brunner. Again, Doppler, great attacking play. Valuable point for Austria.
A little push there, almost looked like a net by Alexander Horst, but the play goes on, and then crossbody has been the shot of choice by Clemens Doppler. Theo Brunner having a tough time tracking it.
Good pickup from Casey Patterson after the ball nearly stopped by the tape of the net.
That's too tight.
Oh, that Brunner pushes it too deep into the Austrian court. Now, Casey Patterson's not sure there's a net infringement here. There goes the C shape from his right hand to call the challenge. First challenge of this opening set.
Challenging a net violation. I'm not sure on what play. If it was that last one, it didn't look like Alexander Horst hit the net. Remember, you get 2 challenges per set, per team, and if you're successful with those challenges, you continue them. If you're unsuccessful, you can lose them. And so this is the first challenge we've seen. So if incorrect, it will bring the United States challenges down to 1. I don't think there was a net violation. Drama definitely building, and for Austria's sake, no foul. Wow, it was so close. That Hawkeye system, such high frame rate, but that's an important point for Austria. Instead of 13-7, you're looking at 12 12-8. A much better score.
And ideally 12-9 going into the technical timeout. Patterson sets Brunner. Brunner attacks. Doppler is there at the nets. And Austria battle their way back into this first set with a real good point run. 30-second break now at the halfway point of set one at the technical timeout.
Good hit, but Theo has to wait for that ball to cross his body. Didn't have much vision of the blocker. And Clemens Doppler puts his hand in a nice position for the stuff.
The only ball he blocks is the straight ahead. Yeah, I should have tried to play it off him.
Let's take a look at the USA serve placement here. All to Doppler. Seems to be working. But Doppler's blocking and attacking play is possibly making up for trying to keep Horst out of the match by serving Doppler the majority of the serves. No serves to Horst, to be precise.
Yeah, the United States, that's an interesting strategy. Go to Clemens Doppler. He's the bigger hitter, but maybe prone to making a couple more errors. The shorter player in Alexander Horst has a lot more shots. So defensively, if you don't want to deal with running around, getting a bunch of shots, you want to deal more with power, then you go to a player like Clemens Doppler.
So can the Austrians pick it up where they left off? You see from the screen, the graphic on the left of your screen, 3 quick points, pulling Doppler and Horst back into this first set, whittling away at the American lead. Brunner is the choice of service placement for Doppler. And that is right on the line from Theo Brunner. And an important score for America to hold on to their advantage and lead.
That was a huge hit. Look how high Theo Brunner hits that ball. It goes over the top of Clemens Doppler, who's got quite the vertical leap.
Doppler puts his attacking shot out. No touch from any of the American players. 14-9. Brunner serving. Again, everything's going to Doppler from a serving perspective. Patterson with a great pick up. Oh, and Horst can't answer it.
Casey Patterson really looks good. He looks healthy and 100%. Early in this 2017 season, he had some problems with his right knee. He had a couple of ankle sprains over the past couple of years. He said the ankle's fine, the knee was bothering him a little bit, but he's been really taking care of it. He said that he's finally feeling 100%, and we've seen it over the course of this tournament, especially in that last matchup against Brazil, the final match of pool where they took down Guto and Pedro Solberg in 3 sets, 15-17. And so it's showing. The defense of Casey Patterson is on point, and so is his conversion game.
Dane, you can look at it 2 ways for these Austrian players. This amazing support is so good, it can lift your game, but it can also add to the pressure on your game. And the pressure on Doppler and Horst to deliver here in Vienna was huge before the tournament, huge during the tournament, and I think that is something that they may start to struggle to deal with. Expectation is so high for the top Austrian seeds.
I agree with you 100%, Nick. It's kind of a double-edged sword. These teams have come out, the fans have come out to watch this team of Doppler and Horst, and that can put a lot of pressure on you, but I believe that they're very much used to it, playing year after year in this type of an environment. If there is pressure, it's really been put on by themselves, and that could be the case because they've yet to get to the top of that podium. But at times, they're in really strong form, but it's just been about putting it all together in one weekend.
You gotta love that shot of Casey Patterson. If no one's going to applaud his kill, he'll whistle and applaud himself. That was really good to see. Good shot though again from Doppler. Well, they're trading side-outs, aren't they, each team? But of course, the Americans still have that big 5-point advantage that they picked up in the early exchanges of this opening set. So Austria need just to pick up the tempo a little here. Doppler with the serve. Almost a service ace, but it goes out of bounds. Point to the USA, 17-11, and all the timeouts have been used up.
That could be concerning for Austria, not being able to stop play and down by 6. A commanding lead here in the round of 32, the knockout round. And a trickler ace for the United States. Lucky, but you will take that anytime. Unfortunate roll for Austria, now down by 7.
Oh, that's a poor serve received from Doppler, but he gets himself out of trouble. Thanks to Alex Horst picking it out of the net.
Really good control by Alexander Horst to put that ball up in a playable position. That's a sign of a solid team.
Horst with service. Beauty. Absolutely spectacular.
You could tell on the play before that they really want to go down the line to Theo Brunner. They missed it one time, and this time they go back. Maybe they sense something that serving over his right shoulder could be a problem.
Casey Patterson has done no wrong. 19-13 to the USA.
That's what I was saying. Casey Patterson looks fresh, looks young, looks springy and ready to go.
Brunner had a hand to it, but didn't quite close out the gap.
You know, his block was just a little bit late forming at the net. And if you're late, that offensive hitter, if they have a quick arm, they're going to get that ball by you before your block is formed.
14-19 Doppler serves for Austria. Patterson decides to take it. Patterson again. Oh, but it's out of play. 15-19. Digging deep here, Austria.
It's a big hit Casey Patterson took right there, and Austria kind of putting together a late charge right here. I think a smart timeout by the United States to slow things down.
.30-second break. Theo Brunner.
I didn't think you'd be able to. I tried to go slimy. I didn't get enough on it. Great set.
Und wer, egal wie das hier ausgeht und was jetzt passiert, glaubt und
Theo Brunner, a star athlete in high school in volleyball, as well as at the University of California, Santa Barbara, where he's a first-team All-American indoor player, converted his game to the beach, and you can just tell he's got that indoor blockers mentality up at the net. Theo Brunner yet to catch fire in this one, and the United States doing just fine without having a strong blocking game.
Doppler with service. Oh, and what a perfect time to pick up his first ace of this match. Great serve from the Austrian.
Ripping an ace. This one right to the sidelines. Really accurate serving so far by Austria. We've seen down Theo Brunner's line and now down Casey Patterson's.
Another beautiful serve from Doppler. Patterson really risking all. Oh, but Doppler's there at the net. And Austria have found some real momentum here.
Big question, can they finish off this comeback? They've put themselves in such a deep hole despite all of these spectacular plays. The United States still in control. Check that out. 6 of the last 7 points going to Austria.
Doppler again with service. No more timeouts for either team. We'll have to play this one out to the end of this first set. 21 points is the target score. You must be clear by 2. It's another beautiful serve from Doppler. Brunner's up at the net attacking. Doppler unable to stop that one. It is now set point for the United States of America.
That was a gutsy set by Casey Patterson, getting his hands on it and putting it in perfect position for Theo Brunner.
Well, Doppler really on fire here. Pulls another point back. The second set point for the United States of America. They just need to side out here against service from Alex Horst. And there it is. Tools the ball off the block of Doppler. Theo Brunner finishing it off for the United States of America.
Give a lot of credit to Casey Patterson, really breaking out his hands and putting that set in a real optimum position for Theo Brunner to take care of business, because offensively looked very erratic. The United States will win set 1, 21-18, but if it's closer than that, if the United States doesn't have that cushion, we could be looking at a reverse there with Austria getting the win. Blocking goes to Austria. Aces go to Austria. Service errors, also Austria has too many of them, but that's why they have those couple of aces, because they're serving the ball tougher than the Americans. Americans have to pick it up from that end line.
So here is the service placement. Patterson and Brunner. Now the pins that you see are the height that the ball was returned back to play. If the ball actually sits on the sand, it means it's an ace serve, of course, when we're looking at the service statistic. But the pin with the ball on top of it is the height that the ball is taken by the player off that serve. Immediately wanting to get on with that set 2 here, the American players. But Doppler and Horst, well, there's a sense of urgency, isn't there, now about their play. The Austrian duo have to win the second set to take it to a third tie-break.
And you know, despite the fact that the Americans ended up winning, it seemed like the momentum was on the side of the Austrians, and they played so well and mounted such a great comeback. But you know, the deficit they were trying to get out of was just a little too deep.
Well, you've called it perfectly, Dane, because it's a beautiful start for the Austrian team of Alex Horst picking up the point there, and Clemens Doppler. Perfect set from his partner. Nice little cheeky touch on the ball. 2-0 to Austria.
Perfect little poke shot. And that's why you go away from a guy like Alexander Horst, is because he's got an entire arsenal of shots and sometimes very difficult to read.
Brunner with service for the US. Good play from Clemens Doppler. Resides here in Vienna. This is his dream come true, to play a world championship in front of his home crowd. The question now is, can they stay in the competition? Here's the local hero with service. Oh, serves another ace to Patterson. That's Clemens Doppler's second ace of the match so far.
You know, I haven't seen a team this tournament as accurate as Austria has been going towards the lines. We've seen so much down the middle. 12 service attempts, 2 service aces.
Oh, and Patterson, not happy, puts that into the net. 5-1 to Austria.
Austria's really creating their own chances right now, and it's all starting from the end line. These really really hard serves right down the middle, and just absolute rockets. 3 aces for Clemens Doppler. Here it is. He starts right out of the middle and ends it right in the middle. Collision by the United States players, and Austria absolutely on fire here in set 2.
Well, that serves the ball into the net. Now, I'm surprised the US have not called a timeout at this point. Clearly wanting to reserve it possibly for a later stage in the second set. This time it's Alex Horst with another beautiful shot over the top of Brunner's block.
So accurate as well. Look where that lands, just a foot inside that sideline. That's exactly where you want to put it.
Another service error from Austria. It's the one stat that's just letting this exciting play down a little. Brunner. Oh, lovely play. Well read by Casey Patterson. Over on 1.
That was something special right there. We call that the tomahawk. Over the top, it goes right to him, puts his hands together, right to the open court.
Good play again from Austria. Keeping that 4-point advantage. It's the first frustrating service error for Austria. Need to keep this momentum. Patterson. Horst taking the serve. Horst on the attack. Lovely little touch at the net. That's his favourite shot, and has been such a consistent point scorer for this Austrian team.
Well, we've seen him poke shot. That's a little roll shot. We've seen the power. Alexander Horst showing his experience with really a repertoire of shots. Theo Brunner right there, going up and high off the hands. I mentioned Theo Brunner playing some indoor volleyball. Casey Patterson played at BYU University, and then he played professionally in Puerto Rico and Sweden as well.
Almost there, Patterson. And that was maximum power from Doppler.
Look at that, quick tempo, quickly to the outside. The United States unable to get set in time, and Clemens Doppler with yet another kill.
Just shy of 55 miles per hour spike speed from Clemens Doppler, who's now at the net. Oh, and that comes off Doppler's hands. Just 3 behind now, the USA. USA looking to close it out. Certainly get a couple closer before we go for the technical time out. Well left. That looked from this angle in the commentary box to be good, but the referee calls the play out. 11-7. Alex Horst, 34-year-old experienced Austrian player, 15 seasons on the World Tour, 119 tournaments against his name, and he's using all of that experience, isn't he? 12-7 to Austria.
Chalk up another ace for Austria, absolutely peppering the ball left and right. Clemens Doppler has 3 aces, and Alexander Horst has 2 of his own for a total of 5. You're wondering, the United States on the other side of the net, just with 1 service ace, that coming from Theo Brunner. And so Austria winning that service game, getting the Americans in all sorts of trouble in the second set here.
And it's a good strike. 13 points to 8 as we head into the technical timeout. A quick 30-second break for all 4 players on court. Halfway point of the second set, Austria in control, having lost the first set by 21 to 18. Austria must take this second to take us to a third set tiebreak. Now the spike placement of Austria. Red ball is returned, the blue ball unreturned, a yellow ball is a winner.
Austria very strong. You see those winners right on the sideline and the end line. A very effective spot right there. And some of those unreturned red balls right in the middle of the court. So really changing it up, giving a different look to the United States from an offensive end for Austria. Nick, talking about that pressure, you know, you're absolutely right. I think we've seen Austria playing these previous matches, and they've all been in pool play. So you know you're not going home. Play a little more comfortable. Now they're in the knockout rounds. They're down a set, and you can tell they're playing with much more a sense of urgency.
Patterson coming out of the technical timeout, putting a valuable point on the board for the United States of America. Almost there, wasn't he, Brunner? Good play from Doppler of Austria.
This is almost a reverse of what we saw in the first set, but it was the United States who had this nice cushion of a lead. Can the United States mount a comeback as Austria did?
Oh, there's a big mistake from Theodor Brunner. And that could be the turning point for Austria wrapping up this second set. 15 points to 9. A big trickler off the net. Casey Patterson recovers beautifully. Back up on his feet in no time at all to put that play away.
Showing his athleticism. Looked like that might be an ace, but with that long frame, he extends, passes the ball well, and then puts it into the corner.
Brunner serves Doppler. Doppler attacks. Oh, and that looks to be out of play. You've called it perfectly, Dane. Now America start to find their momentum and coming back at this Austrian lead. Just 4 clear now, when at one point they were 7 ahead of the Americans. Oh, great play, Patterson and Brunner. 12 to 15 now, just 3 to catch up.
2 spectacular plays, right? We call that a chester, right off the chest of Casey Patterson. He tries to put it away, and Horst is there. And then even with an offset, Theo Brunner stays, puts it great form, and blocks it to the deep court.
Brunner it is with service. It's all going to Doppler from a service point of view. 16-12 side switch. Good cover from Horst. Can he finish? Oh, he finishes beautifully. Over the top of the block, the rainbow shot gives Austria a 5-point lead again.
Austria, very important right here, fending off a little mini comeback from the United States. There's the set from Doppler and Alexander Horst. Little top spin And there's that finger saying that is the shot.
The USA call a 30-second timeout. Let's try and listen in and hear if they're changing their tactics and game plan here.
I should have tried to go on 2 on it. Help you out.
I'm coming in real hard and jumping backwards.
Service aces, 5-1. Errors are low. You see, the United States right now, they need to maybe risk a little more. They're not missing many serves, but you know what? They're not getting the aces either. So you see the team with more errors but more aces is Austria, and they have extended this lead to 5. Americans haven't been able to pressure the Austrians when they're serving.
Good shot from Patterson. Drills it right to the body of Alex Horst of Austria. Pulling another point back, the USA.
Remember that Chester that Patterson got behind. Maybe he's giving a little back right there. Catches Horst a little bit high. A little payback there. Uncontrollable.
Oh, lovely from Doppler. Clemens Doppler quite possibly having the best match of the tournament here tonight.
Yeah, he's been really sharp up at that net.
Oh, and Horst gives it right back to the USA.
What's been surprising is the low number of blocks that have taken place. 2 for Austria, just 1 for the United States.
Now 2 for the United States. It's as if they can hear you down there, Dane, because right on cue, Theodor Brunner puts a beautiful stuff block down to the Austrian court.
Yeah, solid form, and he can catch fire. Loves momentum, loves to block you successively, back to back. That ball's playable.
Well done, Brunner. Sky ball back into play. The Americans refine position. A little bit of confusion between Doppler and Horst. Block is there, over on 2. Patterson picks it up. Patterson looks to finish. Oh, it spits itself out of the net, full of spin. Horst cannot control. Huge rally, but a great point for the USA.
That was absolutely amazing. Look at Theo Brunner have to run way off the court, about 45 feet, keep that ball in play. Patterson lifts it high to give Brunner some time, and there, the stuff block. Horst trying to get it, and Patterson all over. He gets an opportunity, and what does he do? He rips it down the line. Austria cannot keep it in play. That is a momentum-changing play, possibly, for the United States. Still in a hole. It's scary how this matchup right now, the second set, is mirroring the first. You see the United States right there with 7 out of the last 10 points. So mounting a comeback, much like we saw Austria do in the first set. Austria wasn't able to complete the comeback. Big question here, do you think the United States can complete this comeback?
Well, that's why Austria have called the timeout, 30 seconds to rethink the plan here. Also to try and stop that momentum that Dane's referring to of the USA. This is a huge test for the Austrians now to hold their nerve. Set from Horst, Doppler. Good play from Brunner at the net. Oh, and America put the ball away again. Now just 1 point behind Austria.
That was a really spectacular play. Brunner blocks a ball, it stays right at the net, and then he puts it up. Casey Patterson just gets his hand on it to slow it down and then sets his partner for the kill. And they have cut this lead to just 1. Remember, it was 17-12 just moments ago.
Brunner serves Doppler. Doppler attacks for Austria over the top of the block, right to the far corner of the Americans' court. Lovely shot from Doppler, taking Austria ever closer to winning the second set and taking this to a third tiebreak.
The only thing lacking from the United States is they're not serving the ball tough enough.
Patterson, he too with a nice touch at the net. Just one behind.
The United States has to figure out a way right here to score while serving, to tie things up. They're running out of time.
Lovely cover from Patterson. Can he finish? Oh, it's not a good set.
That is a monumental error right there, and Casey Patterson knows it. He made the play. He's in the right position defensively, and then the set is just too close to the net. He ends up netting, and the United States had a golden opportunity that just slips through their fingers, and Casey Patterson knows it. Alexander Horst can tell he just dodged a bullet.
Set point for Austria. Horst to serve. Oh, service error again. Well, there's an argument to say you've got to go for the serve on the big occasion. Second set point for the Austrians. This could be a chance for the US. Short serve from Brunner. Doppler on the attack. We're going to 3 sets. It will be a tie-break set for a spot in the round of 16. 21-19. Austria are back in the match.
Here's a look at that final point. Theo Brunner going to Clemens Doppler. It's a bit of a tight set, but Doppler gets up, beats it, cross-court and angle. A big question, Casey Patterson, you could see that one play, Nick, where they made the defensive play, had an opportunity to put that ball away, and the set was too close. It can come down to that one play. Casey Patterson knows it, was frustrated. The match statistics tell it right there. All tied up in blocks, 5-1 in aces, but a huge comeback by the United States. What Austria did with that comeback is they rolled it into the next set. Can the Americans do the same?
Cross-court spikes, 83% from Austria against the United States of America. Down the line, 17%. Quite possibly Austria in this third set, Dave, might want to try and go down the line a little bit more.
Yeah, I like their offense. I like how both teams are playing right now. It's just a matter of executing in the crucial situations. You can see how even these two teams are, but remember we said they met one time before, and that was in Stade, where Doppler and Horst had a pretty easy 21-16, 21-16 straight set victory. This one is for everything. Win and move on, lose and go home.
First point on the board in the tiebreak third set goes to Austria. Slightly different rules and regulations in a third tiebreak set. We're only heading to a score of 15. There will be no technical timeout at halfway, but the teams still have their timeouts as well as their 2 challenges. Horst. Patterson sets for Brunner. Brunner attacks for the USA. Cross court. Horst has it covered. Lovely float shots. 2-0. Perfect start for Austria.
Not sure what Casey Patterson is motioning to the referees about. This is a beautiful loopy rainbow shot to the corner. Seemed like Casey Patterson kind of stopped on that play. Not sure why.
Over on 2, he's out of play. It was a good tactic, but he hit it just a little bit too hard. 3-0 Austria.
Don't like that decision at all. Going over on 2 from 8-9 feet off. When you got an offensive player like Theo Brunner, you gotta set him.
Another big service from Horst. Patterson sets his partner Brunner. Oh, he got it in his hands, but couldn't keep it up. First point on the board for the USA in this tiebreak third set.
Don't want to get in a hole here. Theo Brunner going up high, head over the net. Horst is there, but just can't make the play. You know, Nick, it's about playing smart volleyball at this point. You want to give yourself as many opportunities as possible. That means serving the ball in, but serving the ball tough. And every switch, you switch on increments of 5. You don't want to lose 4-1 on a switch. You want to be 3-2, hopefully in the lead.
Brunner for the USA, cross court. Horst has his hands ready. Now Horst attacks, and he makes sure that that goes to the feet of Casey Patterson. 5-1, 4-point advantage for Austria. This is looking good for the local heroes, and much to the delight of the 10,000 strong crowd here at the Red Bull Center Court.
Well, this is called elevating your game. Alexander Horst, he's been in this situation. He's playing really disciplined defense, and he's playing with all sorts of emotion and passion. And Austria is jumping all over him.
52 miles per hour, 85 kilometers per hour. The spike speed on that ball. That's one of the hardest hits of the match. Can the United States of America find the answers to this third set onslaught from Austria? The successful attacks statistic quite seriously starting to point towards an Austrian victory here.
Well, they're stepping up. You can see the Austrians are raising their game right now, and the momentum that the United States had at the end of the second set really hasn't manifested here in the third.
Brunner off the fingertips of Doppler. Such an important side out for the USA there. Such an important point on the board. Certainly justifying the call from Team USA for the timeout.
Yeah, they had to call it early, had to stop the bleeding, and now they have to get back on. But you see Alexander Horst handling that serve very easily and going high off the hands of Theo Brunner. So the United States just hasn't been able to get Austria in any type of service receive trouble, and that's why you're seeing this 6-2 advantage.
Horst to serve. Good service to Brunner. Oh, Brunner finds the gap though. Down the line this time against Doppler at the net.
Great extension, beautiful hands. Casey Patterson has really been feeding the rock to Theo Brunner.
Oh, there it is. Beautiful shot from Alexander Horst to maintain the 4-point lead for Austria.
That shot was a work of art. Look at that, inside and out we call that, away from body, wrist away. And the Americans wishing that hit the top of the net. Might have given Casey Patterson a little more time, but he couldn't have put that in position any better.
Service error from Doppler this time. Way too much power on the ball. Easily out of bounds in the American court. Patterson with service for the USA. Doppler attacks for Austria.
Nick, you see what I'm talking about? The offense just too easy for Austria. They're passing the ball well. They're not in any sort of scrambling trouble. They're staying in system. 94.18 kilometers per hour on that last hit.
Almost 59 mph. Brunner now looks for a big hit. Oh, and that's out of play. Painful. All the work had been done by the USA, but Brunner just punches it a little too far into the Austrian court. Five clear Austria, Horst to serve. Sticking with the tactic of trying to serve Brunner, but he puts that one out of bounds. Right back to the USA. Brunner with service, 5-9. Well, Doppler, poor serve receive, putting the ball over on one, making it easy work. A relatively straightforward point for the Americans.
Yeah, but that's from that added pressure. That's what the Americans have to do. They served him tough, caused a problem. They've been serving a lot of free balls, so really go for it. There's another decent serve, but it's handled well. Patterson anticipates the right move.
Oh, and now it's just 2 points clear for Austria.
That's the exact play at the end of the second set. Remember, Patterson made a great move, but then the set was over the net. He needed this set right there, perfection. If they could have made that play, things might have been different. They're trying to get back into it now.
Doppler this time with a little bit of finesse at the net. It's a big point for Austria.
Austria's really been kind of dicing that ball back and forth, setting the ball in the middle of the court, and really opening up some nice angles.
10-7. Doppler serves. Well, going for the ace serve, but it doesn't connect. Again, it's too long. Here's a chance for Patterson. Serves it nice and short to Horst. Good block from Brunner. But a better shot from Doppler to give Austria the score at 11 points to 8.
You know, Brunner got that block against Doppler, but it's not a stuff down. It doesn't go straight down. It's a soft block, so Austria is able to cover it. And then Alexander Horst rips it angle. Patterson was in the line. I think he was expecting Theo Brunner to jump into the angle. Oh, wow. When Patterson puts that ball nice and high for Brunner, he is somewhat unstoppable. And when they have that nice pass. So it's all about disrupting that offense right now. But the United States, Nick, kind of running out of time.
Remember, this is the third set tiebreak. We're only heading to 15, not 21. Brunner with service for the United States of America. Sticks to the tactic of serving Doppler. Doppler attacks. Beautiful point score from Austria. 12-9. Surely now Doppler and Horst feel they're on the way to victory here. Feel they're on the way to the round of 16.
Absolutely. They can taste it. And this crowd wants them to get over the hump. You know, the best finish for Clemens Doppler or Alexander Horst has been a 9th place in the World Championships. A victory here would equal that finish.
They fill the grandstand every time they play Doppler Horst. And this would be the perfect present for their fans. Patterson over on 2, but Horst has got it read. Horst now reads. Short! It's there! 39! Just 2 points off the match, Austria.
Alexander Horst, I mean, just exceptional play. He came with the focus, he came with the determination, and he also came with that execution. He is commanding that ball anywhere he wants on the court.
Payback time for all the support from the fans. And it looks like Austria are about to deliver. Here's Doppler with service. Success here will give the boys in white and red match point, but they need this one. It's a service ace! Can you believe that? Match point Austria! Clemens Doppler with a spectacular ace. America left with their hands on their hips, looking in dismay. 10,000 on their feet. It's match point number 1 for Austria. Brunner has this one covered. Patterson with the set. Cross court, no, down the line from Brunner is successful. Good play from the USA, 10-14, match point 2 for Austria.
Austria has really earned this one. They've played such a high level. They've taken it to the Americans. Anytime the Americans tried to get themselves back in it, they just said no.
Horst sets his partner Doppler, goes over the block. Austria go through as the host nation to these World Championships. Their top-seeded pair go to the round of 16, and they head there with their heads carried high. Great play from the Austrians. Lost the first, but take the next two.